Alright, we going? I believe so. Welcome everyone to another video today. My name is Owen.McGarvey. Hope you all are doing very well today. Let's see if we're going. Are we going? Yes, we are. Just want to double check again. Welcome everyone. My name is Owen.McGarvey. Hope you all are doing very well today. It's good to see, I wouldn't say it's good to see everyone. I got no one right now. But, if you are going to be tuning in watching this later, good to see you. Hope all of you guys are well, and you all are more than welcome along. Today's date is the 11th of August, 2026, and today's at the time of this recording, it is approximately 5 p.m. Just a little side note before we get into talking about football related stuff. It is screaming hot outside. It's unbelievably hot. They believe today's high was 103, 105 or something like that. The heat wave has been brutal, and the forecast in my area, like the next 10 days, is 100 degrees Fahrenheit or more. It's crazy. And it's gone from being that humid heat that we typically have where I live to now the dry heat, which is more comfortable. It's more, it's not as stressful to be, but in the return, the UV sunlight, you can just feel that on your skin a lot more. And so, yeah. So when it comes to Man United news, we're also not just going to be talking about Man United news today. We're also going to be talking about the Premier League. And so there's really not much we can talk about much when it comes to the Premier League. In Man United, or in Premier League, there's a lot to talk about. But in Man United, there's not really too much to talk about. So when it comes to Man United, apparently we are either being linked or we are working a deal with a kid named Lewis Page. Works out, it works out. No offense to him, but that's not really, too exciting for me. Again, no offense. Glad that he's a United fan. If it works out, it works out. Welcome to Manchester United. But we really need another experienced midfielder. We don't need another kid. And again, hopefully it'll work out, but probably won't for at least the next year or so. We need someone right now. If we're trying to recreate this Aiden Heaven experiment, it's going to be really, really difficult. Love Aiden Heaven. He's one of my favorite players on the team, especially in defense. But there's a difference level between the championship and, Arsenal, where Aiden Heaven came from. Yes, Page made around 20-ish appearances, senior appearances for Leicester, and he was like apprentice player of the year for them, and he's really, really, really promising, and apparently can play multiple positions, all that. Okay, all good and well, but we need someone right now. We need someone right here, right now. Will we? I don't know. We got 3 weeks left. In fact, just a little less than 3 weeks now, ish, until we can get a senior player in. I stand by what I say, which is if we get Lewis Hall, I'll get a can of Monster and I'll chug it right here, right in front of you guys so you guys can watch. Will we? Absolutely not. When it comes to the Premier League, I'm not really going to make a prediction list just yet. When it comes to the top six, it's pretty much, I wouldn't say it's self-explanatory. I don't think Tottenham will be in the top six. I don't trust Roberto De Zerbi enough just yet. If you look at his resume, he doesn't usually stay at a club for more than 2 or 3 years. Goes with Marseille, goes with Brighton, and he did well at those clubs, yes. But he didn't stay very long. And so Tottenham really need a manager who will stay longer than 2 or 3 years. Ange Postecoglou, for example, was it there only for like 2 or 3 seasons? Then who did you guys have next after Ange? Who was the manager you guys had last season? I don't remember. Before you got Roberto De Zerbi. But anyways, Tottenham really need a manager who can stay there for longer than 2 or 3 years. Roberto De Zerbi is, he's bringing a lot of good players. Mateus Fernandes and Sandro Tonali. That's going to be a really good midfield. But you can't rely on Roberto De Zerbi for a long-term project, especially when the history in his resume shows that he's not going to be there for longer than 2 or 3 years. A project is more than 2 or 3 years, in my opinion. A project is at least 3 years minimum, in my opinion. Now, when it comes to certain things, like Premier League related stars, we are going to talk about more Premier League news. Now, relegation, that's really up for debate. I don't think Crystal Palace is going to do as bad as people are making them out to be, but at the same time, it wouldn't be surprising if they're really close to that relegation zone. I think Villa will make the top 6 again, and if they don't, it'll be really surprising. Unai Emery's doing a really, really good job for them. Fantastic. I'm very happy for him, very happy for the team. I remember, Sadby, was it almost 10 years ago now when they got relegated and they were going up and down and everything. So it's good to see that they're doing well. For Man City, I'm 50-50, man. I'm 50-50 when it comes to Man City. I am. Part of me thinks they're going to do really, really well because they're strongly improving their midfield and they got a really good team. But at the same time, how they're going to do well with Enzo Maresca compared to Pep Guardiola, I don't know yet. I don't know. I can't give a definite answer. If it was me, I don't think they're going to win the Premier League this year. If they do, it honestly wouldn't be surprising, but I don't think they will. Now, a team that is really going underneath the radar and a team that really is one to watch is Liverpool. Areola, I rate him highly. I really wish Man United got him from Bournemouth, but we didn't. So we stuck with Carrick, and you think you guys know my thoughts on Carrick by now. I have nothing against Carrick, but we really needed someone with a little more experience. And if we're going to be right now, we can't really blame Carrick for the situation right now entirely. Like, it's not his fault that we only got 2 transfers in. That's the Glazers and Ineos's fault, not his. So I'm really concerned for United to a certain extent because Liverpool's really looking really exciting. But kind of like us, they haven't done much. They haven't really been too active in the transfer window like us so far. Again, 3 weeks can change. But Areola, very fantastic. I rate him highly. It's going to be really, really exciting to see. When it comes to Arsenal will be up there again. Honestly, if I was to choose a winner, it would be Arsenal again this year, purely because of experience. Now, will they be able to maintain that? We'll have to see. Just going, I'm going back again. You got to remember, and it's not just for soccer; it's also for other sports like basketball and American football, college football, stuff like that. It is really difficult to maintain a championship-winning team, and I wouldn't even say that, but just that mentality, like that entire shebang. You can even go back and to, now this is going to be something you guys have either never heard of, or this probably won't make sense. But in professional marching band and drum corps international in 2025, after 2 or 3 years of being, about 3 years in the running, finishing second like 2 or 3 times in a row and 4th place in 2023, all that, the Boston Crusaders finally won in 2025. This past year, a few years ago, the year after they won the championship finally, they finished 4th place. And so it can be really, really difficult for the next year to maintain a championship winning run. Now, that being said, I think Arsenal will do it. I think they got it in them. Bruno G is a very, very good signing. Very, very impressed. I mean, that is fantastic. I don't think they're done. I think they got some more stuff up their sleeve that they're going to do. Now, I think Victor Gyökeres has been overrated for them. He's not turned out as good as people have made him out to be. I personally think that he doesn't really fit Arteta's system entirely, but that's just me. Now, for Liverpool, I think Liverpool, again, will be fighting with United to second or third. If it was me, I'd put it at Arsenal first. Let's do Arsenal first, Liverpool second, United third, Man City fourth. You could even jumble it up a little bit, and I'd be comfortable saying that it could be Arsenal, then Liverpool, then City, then United. Although I don't, it's not what I think. You could make the case that Chelsea will be in the top 4. I don't think they have it in it yet. Just because they got Xabi Alonso doesn't mean that they're going to be good just yet. They need a couple more years, but more importantly, they need to really get their acts together when it comes to transfers. They finally decided to get some veteran players in, like Jordan Henderson, and I believe did Granit Xhaka sign for them? I'm not exactly sure, but they really got to get their really got to get into the correct gear because they need more veteran players. They went down the youth route, and Man United's kind of hinted at doing that, and it's not going to work in this Premier League. You got to have a mix between veterans and young players. If you're going to develop young players in this league, it's a really great, really good idea to do it. But you got to surround those youth players, those young players, with veterans so they can really maximize their potential. I think Chelsea will finish 5th or 6th. I think Villa would be fighting it out for the Europa League spot. Chelsea, I can see. I'll put Chelsea 6th and Villa in 5th. Villa has been incredible in the past 5 years. One of the most consistent teams in the entire league. If I'm not mistaken, they have had 60 points or more within the past few years. Unai Emery's working great things for them. I'm very happy for them. They have a really good team. I have a tremendous respect for them, especially since they gave us Yuri Tillemans for $35 million. But if I'm not mistaken, they also signed what's the name? Not Barati. Barati is going to City. I can't think of the other player's name. If you could let me know in the chat. They just signed a couple weeks ago, they signed a really good player, but I forgot his really good midfielder, but I don't think I can pronounce his name right. If someone in the chat could let me know how to pronounce it. But they've made some really good signings. Again, don't dismiss Villa. Just like I said about Liverpool, don't dismiss them. 3 weeks is 3 weeks for some teams, a lot can get done. We've seen that with United. I hope we see that with United again. Do we? I don't know. But again, Liverpool, don't dismiss them. And Chelsea, Villa, don't dismiss them. Now, if it was me, I think Chelsea doesn't really have much left to do buying-wise. It wouldn't be surprising if they sell Enzo Maresca. Not Enzo Maresca, sorry. It wouldn't be surprising if they sign Enzo Fernandez to City and then Rodri goes to, it's looking like now, to Barcelona. Fabrizio Romano mentioned today that City is strongly interested in Enzo Fernandez. And Chelsea is demanding $120 million. What appears what they're trying to do is they're trying to get their money back. And since they're trying to get their money back, what they spent? $120 million? I don't think he's worth $120 million. $100 million tops. And even then, personally, if it was me, he's a really heck of a good midfielder. I'd probably put him 80 to 100 million. 80, 100 million. In my opinion, he's just as good, if not as good as Elliot Anderson when it comes to this past season performance-wise. Overall, you could easily Enzo Fernandez is better, but when it comes to performance, in my opinion, performance-wise and fitness and that type of thing, you got to give it to Elliot Anderson. Now, if Enzo Fernandez does go to City, that'll be really interesting to see. That'd be pretty scary. Now, again, I still predict City to finish 4th, and I see it 3rd or 4th. And it's just a Pep Guardiola effect. You kind of this is horrible comparison, but it's similar to how it was with Fergie. So, one moment. So yeah, it's a similar situation with Fergie. And when it comes to Fergie, with David Moyes, when David Moyes got hired on, we didn't do very well. What was it? We finished 7th? 7th. Finished 7th. Now, do I think City will finish 7th? Absolutely not. They're better than that United team was in 2014 when it comes to certain situations. And Resca is a better manager than David Moyes was. Just imagine, though, I saw the other day that apparently Mourinho turned United down because they already told Chelsea that he'd sign for him. Imagine how that would be. That would be really interesting. But yeah, so again, as always, the past few times I've hardly got anyone. It shows here that there's 2 people watching. If one of them is me because I'm looking at my phone for super chats and views and all that jazz. Hopefully later on I'll get more views. Again, this is just a little bit at a time. I'm about to be really busy, so I'm trying to make as much content as I can before I get really busy. So yeah, that's all I really want to talk about today. Don't hesitate to, comment in the comment section or subscribe or, any of that stuff. So that being said, I appreciate you all a lot. I wish you all